When I watch a movie, the first thing that I notice is the great dialogue, the music, the action sequences. All these things combined are what make a great movie. But there's something else. There's a little extra ingredient, and that's iconic. Being iconic. There's certain movies that I can think of where I remember a specific scene, I can print out that image and just put it up against a wall. And on this Best Top 5, we're going to be mentioning the top 5 most iconic scenes in movie history. These are scenes that you watch and you're like, oh, I know where that's from, even if you haven't seen the movie. For number 5, we have and that's the James Bond gun barrel sequence. Even if you've never seen a James Bond movie, you've seen this parodied, you've seen this probably in posters. And it's a famous sequence where you see a gun barrel, James Bond walks, he turns, and shoots his Walther PPK or Walther PP7, whatever gun he uses. So why is this so iconic? Literally, I can mention this to anybody. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's the thing that James Bond does. He does it in the video game GoldenEye, or he does it in whatever movie that he's in. It's very, very known. Like, whenever I see it, like, I'm like, oh shit, that's a James Bond movie. I'm going to sit down and watch it. And whenever they don't put it in a James Bond movie, I'm like, oh, I forgot, this is a James Bond movie. So, and it's been happening before. So how did this originate? It originated in 1962 in the movie Dr. No. It was designed by Maurice Binder, and it was done not in CGI. This is actually hand-drawn, and that gun barrel sequence has been redesigned several times, but the most iconic was designed by Maurice Binder. And the original actor who appears was not Sean Connery. It was actually stuntman Bobby Simmons. He stood in for Sean Connery to do that sequence. In the subsequent films, Sean Connery and other actors stepped in for that particular sequence. For number 4, we have a sequence that is very iconic, and I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this movie because every time I go to a thrift store, I see this movie lying around, and that's Titanic. It's the sequence where Jack puts out his arms and says, "I'm the king of the world!" That scene. And I'm pretty sure everyone remembers it because it's stuck in my head, and I've only seen that movie about, I don't know, like 5 times. In 1997 when it first came out.
Only?
Only 5 times.
5 times in 1 year?
In 97, yeah. That was the it movie of that year. I saw it in theaters, I saw it on VHS, saw it on TV. They kept playing that song from Celine.
I think you might be the biggest fan of Titanic in 1997.
No.
5 times in 1 year? That's a lot.
No. Anyway, for number 3, we have another movie that I think a lot of people have seen. And if they haven't, they know this sequence. It's the scene where a bicycle is going over the moon. It's so iconic that it's actually the logo of the company called Amblin Entertainment. And that sequence is from the movie E.T., released in 1982. And it's actually the cover of that movie when it came out on VHS. Everyone knows the scene. It goes along, when you see it, like, I literally remember the John Williams score. What stands out so much from it, it's like, aside from the big-ass moon, it's just the music, it's literally the character arc, you know, the whole thing. It's a great sequence. It's so memorable. For number 2, we have a scene from a movie that is from a master director, Stanley Kubrick. And I could have used 2001, I could have used Full Metal Jacket, but I decided to use The Shining. And there's a sequence that everyone remembers has been parodied in The Simpsons and so many other things. And it's a scene where Jack Nicholson is breaking down the door and he goes, "Here's Johnny!" That line. And not many people know, but that actually came from, it was an improvised line. It was actually Jack Nicholson saying, "Here's Johnny," because that was a famous thing that was used in Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was the show, the late night show back then, so he just came up with a line and said, "Here's Johnny." So even though that's not his name, and it works. It's a famous, iconic line. It's literally the cover of the DVD. It's Jack Nicholson with the door. It's a famous, iconic thing. Even if you've never seen the movie, like I've shown pictures of the covers, like, oh, I think I've seen that movie. Then I've shown the movie, oh no, I think I just saw that scene somewhere, because everyone knows that line. So for number 1, this was tough, but I boiled it down to one of my favorite movies, and that is Rocky. And Rocky has so many iconic scenes. There's the, "Yo, Adrian, I did it!" But the one that stands out the most,
my favorite is, "Take it to the zoo."
Let's look at the zoo. But no, the best scene, it's within the training montage where he's preparing for the fight with Carl Weathers. and it's the scene where he's going up the steps. And once he goes up the steps, he goes the flying high now. That part where he just goes like that. It's so iconic, like to the point that they literally made a statue in Philadelphia, which has him like that. It's not him like this. It's not him like that. It's him like that. That's how iconic it is. And anybody, I ask so many people who love this movie or love to train. Whenever they see that scene, it gets you pumped to work out or just to do anything. Whenever I'm feeling like I don't want to do anything, I watch that particular scene. And actually, a lot of people go to Philadelphia to go up those steps and do that iconic part in Rocky. So this was the best top 5 list of the most iconic scenes in movie history. Is there one I missed? I probably missed a couple. Just leave it in the comment section down below. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Share this video with all your friends. And remember, being great is okay. But being iconic, that takes balls. Like this fidget spinner. This is fucking iconic, right?
No, using that takes balls.
Anyway, guys, until next time.